Hello and welcome, everybody. It's the Breakdown podcast that does stuff SGL. No formal intro. We're going to jump right into playoff bracket. How this works, and it's going to be explained mostly by Sean, the admin, because he spent several hours with other admins just trying to get this going. And I am still learning as we go along. So I'm going to hand it over to Sean.
Amazing. So, yeah, tons of time spent by the admins to kind of put all this together, and I know that it's easy to look at it and go, "Oh, this probably didn't take that much," but huge considerations had to be made for the number of matches that are being played in a short period of time, trying to get this all done quick enough that we're not displacing anyone for an extended period of time. And also trying to make sure nobody has to actually go through like 50 matches in a course of 2 weekends because nobody wants that. With that being said, it looks pretty simple, but there are some things that I want to make sure we clarify as we're going through it. So we've decided between Debit and myself that this is probably the best way to do this. So I'm actually we're using kind of a whiteboard format with the picture in the background, and Debit is going to help as we kind of go through this, and he's going to circle certain matchups and certain rounds so that you can understand which ones are like best of 3, which ones are best of 5, which ones are best of 7. And then we'll get to the other format in a minute. So round 1 is going to see, and this is SGL2, but it's going to apply to SGL1. It's just the dates will be different, but the format will be the same. So SGL2, round 1, Black Army versus Viking Army from Group C, and then El Matador versus RGV Stampede from Group D. Those are both best of 3 matches. Then round 2, we'll see the winner of Group C's Black Army versus Viking Army face off against the Surge, and the winner of El Matador from of the Group D El Matador versus Stampede match face off against NYC 12. That round of those matches is also a best of 3. Waiting for Debit to make circles or something.
I'm doing my nice little scuff drawings right now before I put the actual text that tells you what's going on.
Yes, correct. Yes, perfect. Also, while the second round matchups from what we will call the group bracket for ease of explanation here, while the group bracket is going on in round 2, the 2 non-winners from round 1, I will not say losers, even though it's there on the bracket. The non-winners from round 1 will face off in a best of 3 series off stream while those other 2 matchups are going on in round 2. Then we move on to Saturday. All of that is Friday. So to be clear, that's 4 matchups on stream happening that are all best of 3, and a 5th matchup that will be happening off stream on Friday. That's also best of 3. Then we go to the quarterfinal round, we shall call it, which again is Saturday. That is going to feature the winner of the round 2 Group C matchup against U Sector. In that matchup, which will be a best of 5. And the Tigers SG from Group D facing off against the winner of the NYC 12 round 2 matchup for Group D as well, and that is also a best of 5. So both of those are best of 5 series. And Debit, if you need me to slow down, let me
know. No, dude. I will catch up. Don't you worry about me.
Now, you'll notice that there is still the second chance bracket down below. The 2 non-winners from round 2 will then go and play an off-stream match, off-stream best of 3 series. To determine which of those 2 will get to face the round 1 non-winners from that best of 3 series. So those 2 and that matchup, both the round 2 non-winners and the subsequent matchup that will take place between that winner and then the winner of the previous second chance bracket round will face off against each other, and both of those will be best of 3 series as well.
Wonderful.
It's a lot, guys. Bear with me. We're getting to the fun part, though, where it starts to really get confusing. Oh, wait, that's not quite as fun. Then we hit the semifinal. The winner of the Group C overall from the group bracket will then face the winner of the overall Group D bracket. And That will be a best of 7 series, and that is Friday, October 15th. The 2 non-winners from the previous round will face off in a best of 3 series off stream on Friday, October 15th. And then the winner of the quarterfinal non-winners and the prior second chance bracket winner will then face off in a best of 5 series. Best of 5 series. Yes, best of 5. Sorry, best of 5 series.
You are right, sir.
Thank you. Best of 5. We did go over this beforehand just to make sure that we were on the same page. Best of 5 series. And then the final day of play, we'll see the non-winner from the previous day's semifinal matchup and the winner of the overall second chance bracket. I was very close to saying it. I was right on the tip of my tongue. Those two will face off in a best of 7 series on stream on Saturday. And then once that matchup concludes, there will be a short break. Don't know the exact time yet. Also happening on Saturday will be the grand final championship matchup.
Here's where the real action begins.
Which will see the group bracket winner versus the second chance bracket winner in a best of 3, best of 7 series. Now, what does that mean? That means that the winner will have to win 2 best of 7 series out of 3 in order to become the true SGL2 Grand Champion. I think that's pretty self-explanatory at that point.
Yeah, in fact, a good comparison, if any of you watched RLCS, the past RLCS X regional championships, that's how the grand finals worked for that as well. And I believe, I'm trying to think if any of them actually went to 3 series. I believe NRG and Space Station did go to a 3-set grand final. So at least that's a decent indicator of like how this grand final is going to all work out.
Yes. Apparently I can't move the image in the background. Well, that's a shame. All right. Because it was so zoomed in, you actually couldn't see the bottom best of 5 in the middle there, the blue bracket from the second chance bracket. You couldn't see that matchup. You couldn't see the BO5 part of it, so I was just zooming out. All right, so yeah, it's a lot of matchups if you're in the early stages, in the early rounds. If you manage to continue moving on, you could potentially see yourself in the first best of 3, and then you would be in the second chance if you lose that matchup. So then you would go best of 3, best of 3. If you continue on, best of 3. If you continue on, best of 3. And then you would be into a best of 7. So at that point, you've now played in 4 matchups in order to make it to the best of 7, basically the second chance bracket kind of winner versus the non-winner from the group stage group bracket semifinal. So you could, those 4 teams that start at the very beginning could see themselves in a significant number of matches. And let's be fair, Devitt, a team like El Matador, a team like Viking Army, it could definitely push for that opportunity. I mean, both of those teams are definitely good enough. I wouldn't even put it past, say, Black Army or even RGV Stampede to push pretty deep into the playoffs. But of note, that means that if they continue on, they need to be available for those off-stream matches Friday, Saturday, and then again Friday and potentially Saturday if they make it all the way. But that also means this is truly a double elimination bracket. You have to lose twice to be fully out of the tournament.
Yeah, and there's a lot to love about double elimination brackets. I know single elim tends to save a lot of time, But I'm gonna be honest, I love to see teams give that second chance. And then if they actually make that sick losers runs, it's actually some of the best content you can deliver.
It can,
So,
because they're also getting a chance to kind of round into form as they're going along against better and better competition. At least that's the intent, against better and better competition as they go through. And we wanted to make sure, the reason we kind of went with this format is we wanted to make sure there was some benefit to those teams that placed first and second in their groups, to make sure they still got some benefit out of it. And so by giving them a bye, the second place teams giving them a bye in the first round, and then the first place team giving them a bye until the quarterfinals in the group brackets, it just ensures that regular season time that was spent, all those matches that were played, and the effort that was put in to make sure that they weren't forfeits, all of that has value. And I would anticipate, I'm not going to say for sure, but I would anticipate this probably being very similar to how we approach next season. May make some tweaks and changes to the overall bracket formula, but in general, this is probably going to be the majority of the format moving forward, at least in terms of how the bracket lays out. Now, that's if we stick with groups looking at next season, but at least for now, this is the way it is.
it's an interesting format too, because it kind of gives that whole step ladder feel to, I mean, you got the regular season under your belt, you finished where you're at, but I mean, say you're RGV, you're fourth seed, you get 3 series wins, and all of a sudden
you're right there. Yeah.
You're right at guaranteed at least third.
And so, teams like NYC 12 and, my team in the Surge, we win our, one match, against the winner of the third and fourth place team, and suddenly we're playing the best teams in our group. It's not improbable to think that NYC 12 versus El Matador or versus Stampede could see NYC 12 facing off against Tigers SG again. It's not improbable to think we could ultimately see the Surge versus U-Sector again. And then it's not improbable to think we could see U-Sector versus Tigers SG, or U-Sector versus NYC 12, or the Surge versus either of those teams. And then that's it. Then you're into the grand final if you can manage to win. So if you can win your first round match, you only need to win 3 more matches and you're in the grand final. So it isn't a whole lot if you win. It's just that grind if you lose, it adds up real quick.
Oh, 100%. Speaking from experience as a TL, losers brackets, though they make for some great content, it is the biggest grind you'll have in your entire life.
And the other side of that too is if you are if you place first in your group, even if you lose your quarterfinal matchup against the third place team or second place team in your group, or the winner of the second and third and fourth teams, basically you as the top team face whichever team comes out of the rest of those 3. You only need to win 2 matchups to make it to the grand final, even if you lose that matchup. So it's not even then, it's not, the grind for first place is significantly less and is intentional because, again, they put the effort in during the season. At least that's the way it's perceived. And they were the best team, and they deserve to have that benefit.
And it's a good point you bring up about having that advantage going through, because there was none of that last season at all. And it made for some decent upsets. I will not lie. Seeing the number 1 seed in Tigers SG was interesting to see go down. Also, RGV went out early at that time as well. So they got in this case, Tigers have a little bit of breathing room this time, but they certainly can't waste that breathing room.
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it. You can, if you slip and, let's say it ends up being U-Sector and Tigers SG in the semifinal. Even then, neither of those teams are out of it. Win 1 more series and you're right back into the grand final. It's not improbable to think we could see U-Sector versus Tigers SG in the grand final and potentially in the semifinal. Mm-hmm. It's just there's so many possibilities with only 8 teams. There's a ton of matches that are going to happen. There's a ton of series that are going to happen. And at the end of the day, it's going to come down to the 2 best teams, because absolutely you have to be the 2 best teams to make it through this entire grind, this entire slog, and to be in the grand final. And again, that's, for anybody who doesn't realize, that's potentially in the grand final, just the grand final, that's potentially 21 total matches being played across 3 series. a minimum of just 12 matches, but a maximum of 21 matches. To give you guys an idea of how long that is in terms of stream time, if we stream all 6 of our SGL matches in a single stream, it is 3 hours that we stream for. So a best of 3, best of 7 is basically an additional 30 minutes on top of that 3 hours. So 3.5 to 4 hours. It's a pretty big amount of time to commit to just a single series, essentially, or a single championship.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible, especially when we get to that final point. Especially we're going to be talking about taking like series set breaks of about potentially 5-10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
just so that adds a little bit more stream time. Commentators talking with Twitch chat.
Yeah.
So I better see you all in there, by the way.
Yeah, those of you that can make it, because again, we do know it is, unfortunately, it came down to kind of a bit last minute. That was not the intent, but hey, it is out. This is the format. These are the series. This is how it all shakes out. You know the days that you're expected to play in at the very minimum, and then if you lose, you now know what day you're expected to do these off-stream matchups. And I will say, the intent is to have a moderator or an admin in those matchups off-stream, just to kind of play, not play, but kind of watch and spectate, so that we make sure if there's anything that happens, there's somebody there to kind of make a decision immediately and not have to wait.
Of course. All right, so we've broken down this playoff bracket I'm just gonna say, this is art right here. What you're seeing on your screen, all the work that went into it. And
I thought you were talking about all your little squiggly lines.
That's the secondary part of the art. The kid drawing on the wall with markers.
Yeah.
That is the art right there. Me just explaining this as Sean talked. It's a lot of work, but hey, if you come out of this at the end of it on top, all creds to you.
You've definitely earned the title, if you win it all, of grand champion of your respective SGL league.
And one final thing I gotta say to the competitors out there, all the teams going into this, good luck. And I'll see you whenever I can for commentary.
Yeah, good luck, everybody.